First up, compute resources. This is all about picking the right engine for your applications, and you can bet the AC exam is going to throw different scenarios at you to see if you can make the right call under pressure.
A classic exam question really boils down to this right here. Should you use Cloud Run or GKE? Think of Cloud Run when you need speed and simplicity. It's serverless, it scales all the way down to 0, which is great for your bill, and it's perfect for those straightforward stateless web apps. GKE, on the other hand, is your powerhouse. It gives you all the control of Kubernetes for those more complex or stateful apps where you need to manage every little detail of networking and orchestration.
But hey, it's not all about containers, right? You've also got to understand managed instance groups, or MIGs. These are basically the foundation for managing your traditional virtual machine workloads at scale. They let you auto-scale and do rolling updates across a whole fleet of identical VMs, and it's all super easy.
Now this is where people get tripped up. The exam will give you a workload and ask you to pick the right disk. Here's the cheat sheet. If the question mentions cost-sensitive, you're thinking zonal standard. Need a good balance of price and SSD speed for a web server? That's zonal balanced. Hear the words high-performance database? Your mind should jump straight to zonal SSD. And if the key is high availability, surviving a whole zone going down, regional PD is your hero.
And circling back to GKE for a sec, the exam is definitely going to test you on 2 critical setups. You've got to know that regional clusters are all about high availability, spreading your resources across multiple zones so you're safe. And for security, private clusters are king. They get rid of public IP addresses on your nodes, which just massively shrinks your attack surface.
So, we've figured out our compute. Let's move on to the next big question. Where is all the data going to live? Once you have that compute engine humming, you need to find the perfect home for its data.
The cloud storage classes. You can almost guarantee a question that describes how often data is used and asks you for the most cost-effective choice. So if the data is hot and you're hitting it all the time, go with standard. Accessed less than once a month, nearline is your best bet. Less than once a quarter, that's cold line. And for those deep, dark archives you almost never touch, archive is the cheapest. But, and this is a big but, don't forget about those minimum storage durations. They can catch you out.
Now for your relational data. You've got to know the difference between Cloud SQL and Spanner. Cloud SQL is your go-to managed workhorse for typical web apps that need MySQL or PostgreSQL in a single region. But the moment an exam question mentions things like global scale, massive transactions, and strong consistency across the entire planet, your answer is Spanner, every single time. And hey, let's not forget the NoSQL world. Meet Firestore, Google's serverless document database. So if a scenario pops up talking about flexible schemas, mobile app backends, or real-time data syncing for collaboration, Firestore is almost certainly the service you're looking for. Okay, let's start connecting all the dots. You have your compute and your storage, but none of that is worth anything without a rock-solid network to connect it all together, and just as importantly, to keep it all secure. The most crucial thing to get here is the firewall hierarchy. Think of it like a waterfall. Security rules flow from the top down. An organization policy sets the big guardrails that nobody in the company can get around. Then, folder policies can get a bit more specific for, say, the marketing department. And finally, VPC firewall rules apply down at the individual project level. It's all about that centralized security control. This slide breaks down the 2 ways your traffic can get to your users. You've got Premium Tier, which is the default. It uses Google's super fast private global network for pretty much the whole trip, giving you the best performance. Then you've got Standard Tier. It's cheaper because it sends your traffic over the public internet. It's perfectly fine for stuff that isn't super sensitive to a little extra latency. So when you need to serve a worldwide audience, this is your secret weapon. The Global External Application Load Balancer. What a mouthful. Uses one single IP address to magically send users to the Google data center that's closest to them. Pair that with Cloud Armor for security, and you've got the premier solution for fast, secure, global web apps. Okay, you've planned everything out. Your compute, your storage, your networking, it's a thing of beauty. But how in the world do you manage all of it so that it's reliable and you can do it over and over again? The answer, my friends, is infrastructure as code. For the exam, you need to know this toolkit. gcloud is your bread and butter command line for everything GCP. kubectl is its partner in crime for managing GKE clusters. Terraform is the declarative, industry-standard way to define your infrastructure in code. And Config Connector, Well, that's a really cool Kubernetes native way to manage your GCP resources.
Now listen up, because this is a huge IAC concept they'll test you on: remote state. When you're working with the team, you just can't have that Terraform state file, which is literally the map of your code to your real resources, living on your laptop. It's a recipe for disaster. Storing it somewhere remote and shared, like a version cloud storage bucket, is absolutely critical to prevent conflicts and make sure everyone is on the same page.
Okay, before we wrap this up, let's do a quickfire round. A lightning review of the most important this versus that choices you are definitely going to face on the exam.
First up, global load balancer for a worldwide audience. Regional load balancer when all your traffic is staying inside one Google Cloud region. Simple as that.
Second, the GK trade-off. Choose a private cluster when you need maximum security, right out of the box. A public cluster is simpler to get going, but only if you're okay with having public endpoints.
Third, our big compute choice. Cloud Run is the answer for simple, stateless containers where you just want everything managed for you. GKE is for when you need to roll up your sleeves and get full control over complex, stateful microservices.
And finally, your relational databases. Cloud SQL for all your traditional, regional database needs. Spanner is the only answer when you see the magic words global scale and strong consistency.
And there you have it. That's the blueprint for a huge, critical part of the AC exam. You've now got the mental models you need to choose the right tool for the job every time. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first? Good luck on your cloud journey, and you're going to crush that exam.